Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football, and welcome back to your Monday night live stream. Well, it actually is the winning drive, the prime time edition. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Pleased to be joined by another lifetime Longhorn, the young prodigy, C.J. Vogel. Coach Shipley's going to be joining us a little bit later on. We'll also have lifetime Longhorn, my former teammate Stevie Lee, coming up here momentarily on the show. A lot of things I want to talk about. Some big picture stuff, but the Longhorns who do now have, at least they will have Super Bowl rings. We'll get into them and talk about their story a little bit because I think it's pretty interesting. We'll also get into lessons that Texas football can learn from the Super Bowl. I want to get CJ's thoughts about that a little bit. There's a mock draft, 3-round mock draft from NFL.com. I'm a mock slut, so I'll look at any mock draft, but I want to get into that. Two Longhorns getting some love there. And a big picture kind of macro topic I want to talk about, football related at every level pretty much. I want to get CJ's thoughts on. But anyway, before we dive into that, of course, your questions, comments, whatever you guys want to talk about, we love to get into that conversation. Super chats always jump to the front of the line, and you can interrupt the show at any time. Before we hit my man Stevie Lee, CJ, what were your thoughts about the Super Bowl, man? What are your thoughts about the game overall, the matchup? I mean, I think everybody was pretty much picking the Seahawks, but that ended up being an Old Testament style butt whipping.
Yeah, I thought it was a horrible game, and it was a horribly boring game for the majority of it, right? And I think that's more a testament to the defensive approach from Seattle, right? I thought, their front seven was fantastic. They made plays in the back end. Will Campbell, poor guy, had a horrible night, right, at left tackle. I think he allowed single-handedly 14
pressures, something like that, yeah.
Drake May had a bad night as well. Altogether, I mean, that was one of the I can't say worse because we watched the Patriots and Rams not too long ago either, but it was pure domination. So credit to Seattle. There's a lot of Longhorns on, that are going to be shining off a Super Bowl ring here soon, Rod. But altogether, the approach from the Seattle side, the execution from the Seattle side, altogether, I thought it was fantastic from them. And, they were far and away the best team in the league and very much deserved of a Super Bowl ring there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. First defensive play calling head coach to ever win a Super Bowl. Just throwing it out there too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Byron Murphy because he was a big part of it. Julian Love, the safety for the Seahawks, he said, I'll make sure I get it right because I have the quote here, but something about basically Byron Murphy being the heart and soul of that defense. One of the greatest defense of all time, CJ, and he's getting that kind of description. So we'll get into that and talk about it too. Long Ball Dixon. You guys know I love me some Long Ball Dixon. All right. That's my nickname for him. I call him Long Balls because he has the punning. They go, anyway. Yeah. Y'all get it. Yeah. But we'll get into that too. And Quandre Diggs, that's kind of an under discussed topic from Longhorn fans, but I believe he's gonna give him a Super Bowl ring too because he was on the practice.
Will. Good for Quandre.
Great for Quandre. I'm really happy for Quandre. Who knows? Quandre might retire after this, honestly. Like I said, I know he's been talking about it for a while, but if they're going to pay him to be on the practice squad, hell, I think he'll take that.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? All right, let's first thank our lead sponsor for today's program before we dive into my man Stevie Lee and his conversation. Let's thank them, Von Lane. We appreciate Von Lane and all of their support of On Texas Football. Von Lane is fantastic, folks. I've taken it several times. I've taken it for business. I've taken it to go visit family in Houston. My wife has actually taken it. Her and her girlfriends have gone on, the girls' trips together, and they've taken the Von Lane. It is a fantastic service. I know a lot of you out there are getting back to the grind, right? Getting back to the conferences, and then you have the meetings, and then you have to do your short travel trips in between major Texas cities. Maybe you're still dealing with those, flight delays and the hassle of TSA and the stress of the airport period. Some of you out there driving yourself, dealing with stress of traffic and road rage, other vehicles, and you arrive at your location. And if you got to go there for conferences or businesses, you're already worn out, you got jet lag. Our friends at Von Lane, they offer an alternative, and it is the best alternative, folks. It is a luxurious travel experience, first-class travel experience as well. You arrive at a luxury hotel terminal, no TSA lines, no long-term parking lots, just an easy boarding experience with over 22 oversized first-class seats. You have featured 140-degree recline. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, or you can get some work done on the Vaughn Lane, by the way. My friends at Vaughn Lane, they have Wi-Fi, complimentary drinks, even on select departures, they have complimentary meals as well. Right now, our friends over at Vaughn Lane serving Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth. They've also added Nashville to the cities that they serve as well. They jumped out to Memphis as well. So visit vonlane.com. That's VONLANE.com and use the code OTF26 and you'll save $20 off your first ride with Vaughn Lane. That's Vaughn Lane, your private jet on wheels. All right. Thank you very much to our friends at Vaughn Lane. All right. Let's dive into the conversation, our Monday conversation with Stevie Lee, my former teammate and lifetime Longhorn. And we appreciate him taking the time. What's up, Stevie? How was your weekend?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think Stevie muted. He muted? He's muted.
Yeah, we get the mute button now.
Oh, there it is. There you
go. Yeah. Oh man, the weekend was good, man. Happy to have a little bit of time off. And going into my birthday week, my wife is already planning stuff, man. So yeah. So
birthday week.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's a big one then. Oh, hold up. So you already know she's got plans, or the plans already made? You just know they happen. What day is your birthday on?
My birthday is on Valentine's Day, Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did I not know you was a Valentine's baby?
Yeah, man. I spread love.
Wow.
That's good stuff, Stevie.
Oh, but do you realize next year, Stevie, your birthday is going to have special significance. Not only your birthday is Valentine's Day, Super Bowl Sunday is going to be on your birthday.
Is it really?
Super Bowl Sunday next year is on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, try to prioritize the three there. I don't know if you can do it, right?
Yeah.
And where is it going to be next year?
Ooh, that I don't know. Don't have me lie to you. I don't know where it is right now off the top of my head, but I know it's going to be on. I know that is already. I'm thinking as a man. Every man out there needs to know this. Men, right? Figure it out. This is a conundrum that no man in history has ever faced. You're gonna have the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day on the same day. Now, Stevie got a whole nother issue happening. So, honestly, Stevie, this may solve your problem because your B-Day. So wifey tries to flip it and make it more about you anyway.
Yeah,
because it's your B-Day. So that
I don't know. That may be a bad business decision for the NFL, man. Why would they do that? You know,
they've always wanted that. Basically, the Super Bowl Monday to be a holiday, and President's Day is that next day. So they gonna get they finally gonna get their Super Bowl holiday after the Super Bowl, basically treating it like a holiday kind of weekend.
That part makes sense, but putting it on Valentine's Day, there's some wives out there that's gonna check it or that's gonna use that you owe me card and not make their husbands watch the Super Bowl and actually make them take them out. So I don't know if that's a good business decision.
Hey, speaking of the Super Bowl, Stevie, I talked about it a little bit just now. I didn't like it. What did you think of it last night in terms of the gameplay itself and how it all went down?
I actually was at a friend's house, a friend that's on staff, and we actually ended up going outside smoking cigars and talking, man. We didn't even watch the second half.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't watch the second half. So we checked in on our phones and saw the score. But, man, I knew that it wasn't going to be a competitive game.
Yeah.
Seattle was supposed to be there. The Patriots barely got there, you know. So, and I heard y'all talking about Quandre. That was awesome to see him win one. And Byron Murphy. I mean, I loved my Longhorns. Some of my Longhorns got a ring last night, so that was fun to watch.
And then we did someone. I'm gonna shout out to CB and Tracy. SoFi is where Super Bowl is gonna be next year.
SoFi. I might need to be in LA.
Just throwing it out there. Hey, can I? Yeah, you know what? Stevie might be out there too. Yeah, Stevie. It's your B-Day. It's your B-Day,
no
baby.
question.
It's your B-Day. I got to celebrate you. Let me ask y'all this. Do we feel like there's a shift in football that defense is starting to figure some things out? Because I was a Texans fan. I think to myself, hell, the Texans should have been there, man. Texans, they can put together any type of competent offense. They'd have been out. Even if CJ could have been a game manager, they'd have been all right. But even whether it be, college football or whether you talk about the NFL, I feel like defenses are starting to figure some things out. I feel like finally, and not that defense is taking over, but certainly in NFL, you're starting to see. I mean, the last 2 Super Bowls, defense just pulled out that BTA, man. They pulled a belt out on them.
Yep.
Both of them.
I remember having this conversation once before with Philip Geiger.
PGZ.
PGZ. It's actually ups and downs. I feel like there's some years that defense is dominating everyone, and then the offense catches up. And then there's some years that the defense needs to catch up with some offenses. So when we look at the league overall, it's just peaks and valleys. And this year, and actually the college football right now too, the defense just dominated the college landscape. And so it may be that way for a while because some really good defensive players are coming out of the high school, getting into the league, and just going to make it even better.
I think it's interesting. Obviously, the constant there is the trench play, right? Got to have good trench play on both sides.
DJ is my guy.
It has to be what you rely on, essentially. And we saw that last night. Patriots can defend Drake May, and obviously that Seahawks front seven was fantastic. But it's interesting because I think we're also seeing a shift back in Texas high school football a little bit as well. And what I mean by that is for the last, 10 or 12 years, if you had a good athlete, you're putting them on the offensive side of the ball because everybody's going spread. Hey, they'll probably be able to catch more passes than they drop. And you're starting to score 30 to 40 to 50 points every single week, right? Offense has kind of led the charge. We're starting to see more and more of those guys specialize on the defensive side. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, hey, you got guys that are running 10-3 saying, hey, I don't need to play wide receiver. I'll learn to backpedal, right? A guy that comes to mind is Montre Jackson. Cade Hogg is another guy who may not have the testing numbers, but for the most part, if you had a Division I level guy over the last decade, they're playing on the offensive side of the ball because of the influx of the spread. Are you seeing it the same way, Stevie, around the state? Or, I mean, I know it's interesting. It's all brand new, but for the most part, defense is starting to make a little bit of a comeback everywhere else as well.
Yeah, I feel exactly what you're saying, man. It's a lot of times the kids are wanting to be the flashy receiver, and now they're kind of switching over and okay with playing defense now, and actually wanting to play defense. It takes a special person to play defense, a DB. Being able to flip your hips and run with somebody. And then when you can, you actually fall in love with it, I believe. I think, Rod, you can speak on that a little bit more. But then I also like big men want to be nimble. And so, you want to be nimble and you want to get the reputation of having cat quick feet, Yeah. So that's the dream. If you're going to be big, you want to be nimble, and they're going to put you on the D-line. Somewhere across the D-line. But if you're big, you can't move, you're just going to be on the O-line. So,
Bro, honestly, you saying that, but I said this years ago, Stevie. So shout out to you and your kind. But I said D-tackle is a premium position. I said it. I was saying it probably 5-6 years. I said, man, D-tackle is a premium position. You got to get you one of them dogs that can play every down, stop the run on early downs, and be a pass rushing menace on later downs. And the NFL definitely is starting to figure it out. Sark been trying to get D tackles through the transfer portal by the half dozens when he can get them. I think that, look at what Will Muschamp just did with Jafar. I think they're starting to figure out, I got to get it. It's going to start with this D tackle. Yeah. If I want to play, if you want the advantage of being able to play, what's up, Coach?
Hey,
Coach. Hey, how you doing, Coach? Good to see you. Good to see you.
I feel complete now, Coach, that came in, man. I feel like I'm actually here.
Man. I had my granddaughter's birthday party. I couldn't miss it. She turned 10, my oldest grandchild.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I left her.
Coach, 10 years old? Okay.
10 years old.
I love it. Good stuff. I love that. Well, good to have you on, Coach, and happy birthday to her as well from the crew. What do you think about the Super Bowl, Coach? Did you watch the Super Bowl? Or you was too busy?
Yeah, pretty boring. It was a pretty boring first half.
Yep, Steve said the same thing.
yeah. Second half came on a little better. Yeah. What can you say about the Seahawks defense, man?
Yeah.
They're tough.
Yeah, no doubt.
They are tough. Yeah. What I was saying was that basically you look at Texas right now, I looked at all the NFL players Texas had in the league. You're looking at the guys who are on active rosters, practice squad guys, injury reserve guys, everybody. All right. If you were in 2025, if you got any shot in 2025, and you look at position by position, and you got to break down O-line into, tackles and guards and, DBs and the safeties and corners, D tackle, 8 of them in the league. 6 of them, I believe, Sark got a chance to coach. And 7 of them actually were active. I think Bill Norton ended up being signed either I forgot practice squad, something like that for a little while. But I forgot Kendrick Colbert he didn't make in 2020. I think he's now signed with the Dallas Renegades or something like that. But I believe that you could throw him in there too, and that'd make 9. Yeah. You want to look at guys who were just because I don't know if he got a shot in 2025, but I think he was on and off, like getting waived on and off of roster. So Alabama is the only institute D tackle U. They're the only college football program that has more NFL production from D tackles they produced. That's the only school right now. That's Texas.
I would love for that. We know we talked about that statistic last week, but the correlation to a good run of defensive tackles compare that to our record that we have right now. Mm-hmm. I think that starting on the inside out, pulling on the or going from the inside out on the talent, we actually, like back in the day when we played, we had great defensive tackles and we had 9-win seasons every year, mm-hmm. Back when we only played 11 games, So I think that building your team from the inside out is part of the formula.
It's becoming more popular again. Remember at one point, and honestly, I'll say it's the Legion of Boom, strangely enough, that were the team that kind of started people trying to build their teams from the outside in, the way they built that Legion of Boom team. Now teams are like, no, you got to build from the inside out. And Byron Murphy is like the centerpiece of that great Seattle. By the way, Dark Side defensive nickname, fantastic.
Yeah, not bad.
That's a great nickname. The Dark Side, I'm jealous of that nickname. That's a hell of a. Did the Texans have a nickname? They were a good defense. I guess you got to be able to win it all before you get a nickname.
Yeah.
What's the last time a Texas football had a defense so good that they deserved a nickname and we gave them a good nickname?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? Coach, when would Texas have a good like a nickname? We have a defense that good. We have great defenses. We should try to give them the next good one a nickname if they deserve it.
Yeah. Just ask the chat to drop in their recommendations.
That's all I'm saying. All right, Steve, we won't keep you too much longer, man. Thank you for coming on with us. We appreciate your time. Can't wait to talk to you next week. And Stevie Lee, everybody knows his birthday is on Valentine's Day. Easy to remember. Just so you know, Coach. Did you know that, Coach? You know Stevie Lee's birthday is on Valentine's Day?
No, I didn't know that. But all my kids' mother, that she was born on Valentine's Day too. So.
Oh, there you go.
Your kid's mother.
Stevie, so I got to ask you a question.
What's
Does your wife do the 2-for-1 gift? Like, you know what I'm saying? Birthday, Valentine's Day. I mean, I always had to double up and make sure that it was like a special day because it's easy to do 2-for-1. Well, here's your birthday gift and happy Valentine's.
Yeah, I don't think she does that, but my thing is I don't give out gifts on my birthday. Right? So she's the only person that I have given a gift to, but it wasn't on my birthday. It was the day after. Right? So I'm keeping that tradition alive.
Man, that actually is interesting because most Valentine's Day exchanges are one-sided. The man is usually giving the woman a gift. My woman just gives me something, I think, but most of the time, as a man, you can't screw that one up. Don't listen to her when she say, "Don't give me nothing." Always give me something.
Always get flowers. At least get flowers, and get them the day before. Don't be a knucklehead and be in line at the flower store like every other guy.
Got down some notes on this one here, fellas.
I will say, I get up early in the morning. I get up early because the stores open. They open like 6 a.m. on Valentine's Day because they know idiots like me need to get there early. So they open up really early. You can get up early.
Yeah, let me just give you a little hint here. HEB has a great floral. I mean, my wife said, "Who's your florist? Who do you get your flowers from?" I said, "Oh, it's just a special thing I do. You know, I got to my special spot I go."
Yeah.
It's HEB.
That should be a commercial for HEB. That's great.
Well,
They're good
now.
now,
She
I'm telling
knows. And the group that I was with last night, they forgot that it was Valentine's Day, so they were all on their phone trying to find reservations. You can't get any reservations now, not in Austin anymore.
No.
So
yeah,
sorry, fellas.
Yep, you waited too late on that.
Too late.
Come up with something. Be creative. Come up with something on your own now. You go to brunch. This is like everybody trying to go to dinner. By the way, you can invite wifey to brunch or lunch. Just so you know, if you can't get the dinner reservations, I have done that. Now you got to make dinner on your own at home, but you can if you want to get the go out thing and she want to feel special that way, you can do that. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, when you go to HEB, here's what you say. You say, I want the softer palate. Right? You don't. They're full of red roses. The women like the softer palettes, all the white, all the softer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around a while.
Coach, I'm taking all these notes right now. Let me tell you.
Coach dropping game. Coach dropping game.
Heather, no red roses, softer palette. Mm-hmm. That's my notes. That's what I have. I'm reading it on my phone in my notes for flowers.
Every now and then you can find some burnt orange hue, but they got a little,
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Stevie. We kept you on too long.
I'm sorry. Hey, Coach is dropping knowledge. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen. I'm a sponge, man.
It's called It's called game, and y'all need to get some. Coach got plenty. All right. Thanks, Stevie. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night.
Thanks, Stevie.
That's great. Courtesy of Hargrove Roofing, by the way. Thank you very much to Stevie. HargroveRoofing.com. You can reach out to them today. They have offices all over Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. They are the most pro burnt orange roofing company out there. So reach out to them today. HargroveRoofing.com. 512-645-3202. Offering a free roof inspection today. Know who's on your roof. It won't be Stevie, but he highly recommends our friends over at Hargrove Roofing because he's worked with the fine folks there. I have actually got a chance to hang out with them several times. We've had activations with them with the Owen Texas football family. They are great. You can trust them. They are reliable, and customer service is their top priority. So thank you very much to HargroveRoofing.com. All right, we got some super chats. I got some topics we'll bring up after that, but let's get to the super chats here. Beard 8125, thank you for the super chat. Said just spent my 52nd birthday in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Oh yeah, good for you.
Everybody's got birthdays around here.
Don't go if you're out of shape. Says legs are shot. Love the live stream. CJ, get married, have babies. It's the off season. Damn. Where'd that come from? Man,
I just heard Coach give me the playbook basically about the flowers. I heard about brunch, so I'm taking some notes here.
Yeah,
the whole babies part. Away. I'll tell you this, and I've told many of people this. 2027 is my year. Will that mean babies? I hope not. But I tell you what, 2027's 11 months from now.
Oh yeah,
2027.
Mm-hmm.
So CJ, I know your mom's probably watching. Have you got that special someone in sight yet?
This show is going off the rails.
I know it, Coach. For the point here, the flower section at HEB, you probably won't be seeing me.
Okay,
not yet, not this year.
Hey, can I just say this about HEB and dating? No, seriously. I'm gonna put you on the game too. Now, your boy, I figured this out at one point. I figured out by mistake. That I went to HEB, which is when I was single back in the day. All right. Back when I was right when I was done with the league. Sometimes it's actually happened while I was at Texas too. You end up going to HEB like after, say, a meeting or after I have to do something, some obligation, dressed up real nice. Man, got to tell you.
Hecklers.
You'd be surprised how many of them looks you get. Because nobody goes to the grocery store dressed up. Like you literally intentionally, I'm not going to the grocery store dressed up. Why would I do that?
Yeah. And
so I ended up dressed up nice a couple of times. The grocery store, I'm telling you, ended up having to do it intentionally to test out the theory, and it does work. I don't know if it still works. This was obviously years ago, but man, I tell you, dressed up at the grocery store, you'd be surprised how many looks you get, and all it takes. And think about how much you know about a person by what they shop for in the grocery store. You already got game right there. Oh, what you got there? Oh, you got okay, I see. Yeah, you got a little sushi there. What you got? Oh, I see you getting your green. Boom. You already got conversation. It's in her basket right there. And then you'd be surprised where the conversation goes from there. I'm just telling you, nobody thinks about hollering at somebody at the grocery store, but had a high success rate there. And I usually don't share that with people, but why not? Because I'm married now. I don't need it.
I like it.
You gotta dress up though. You gotta go ahead and act like, and you can always say, I had a meeting. I'm a young professional. I had a meeting. I didn't want
you guys see me tomorrow or Wednesday night all dappered up,
bro.
I'm putting into to process a little bit of what you're putting down here, Rod. I also got to say this: Whole Foods. Apparently, I've heard. I'm not a big Whole Foods guy. Whole Foods has kind of supplanted HEB, apparently. So,
also it's about what HEB you go to now. That Hancock Center over there, that's a different type of HEB than the Westlake, than the Real Housewives of Westlake. And
we're getting
we don't have natural foods in Abilene, okay? Whole Foods,
man.
We got natural foods. We don't have Whole Foods, and they don't have any flowers unless they're edible.
Whole Foods is the way. Yeah, Central Market is the best. I'm just telling you. Do you go to the right HEB? Man, you be like, what's going on in here? It's like
I know
a club up in this joint. And then boom, there you go. All right. Too much dating advice on OTF tonight. Coach got there started. We was good until Coach came on. We wasn't giving the dating advice.
Go off the rails till Coach comes on. Yeah, right.
All right, let's get. I think Nick is gonna get us back on. How about this one? Thank you, Nick. Nicolini Morel says Aaron Donald said lowest weight he played at was 250. Highest was 280. Thoughts, and could that work for Justice Terry? Damn, I love this question. Yep. This is good. Thank you very much for this one. I'll just say this about Justice Terry. 18% pressure rate this year in the very small sample size you have. So when he played, he made an impact. Like when he got a chance to play extended time, he actually made an impact. What are your thoughts about where he's going to be? I mean, is he an ed? Is he a defensive end? Is he a D tackle? Is he a D lineman? He's just a weapon. What are your thoughts?
What's he weighing right now?
That's the big question. And Coach, I don't know if I have a specific answer for you because I think he's around 275-ish, maybe I guess the hope is to get him, closer to 290, but I don't know at the moment. But we had this conversation a little bit with Byron Murphy when he was coming out to the draft, right? Because he wasn't necessarily that bigger body, right? He was 304 pounds, 305 pounds. Probably played at Texas around 299, 298 in that range. And obviously the movement, the first step, the pure strength is kind of what allowed him to be great, similar to that of Aaron Donald. But again, we're talking about one of the all-time greats, right? So it was lofty then. It's lofty now. For Justice Terry, you still got to get to 15, maybe 20 pounds before you can even enter that conversation and then produce. So I don't know, Coach. That's tough. But if he can get to 285-ish, what do you think about where he could play then?
I'd move him around. I would kind of love to just move him around and attack different, weaknesses and matchups that you like. The truth is, this is kind of where, instead of taking some of the lessons you learned from the Super Bowl champion, the D tackle position, having a disruptive D tackle, that's our D tackles were great. I loved our D tackles. They were good, but they were not disruptive.
Yeah. Last
year they weren't. I got the numbers right here. They had, 53 total pressures from that group. When you were at 126 pressures from your D tackles in 23, 124 from them in 22.
Wow.
Combined with all your D tackles.
Wow.
You had 53 last year. You go look at the last 4 teams in the playoffs this past season in the NFL. Their top 2 D tackle duos, the starting D tackle duos for each of them, they were all ranked in the top 4. It was the Broncos, Seahawks, Rams, and the Patriots. Their starting D tackle duos, one of them being Byron Murphy, they were the top pass rushing D tackle duos in all of the NFL. I don't think that's a coincidence. But go look at the Super Bowl. What did Byron Murphy have? 2 sacks in the Super Bowl?
And a fumble recovery, yeah.
Recovery. I think he led them in pressures as well. He led them in. I believe he was one of the. Well, I think he may have tied for the leading pressures. So I think Devin Witherspoon might have been the other guy, but with that B gap pressure that kept running. Well, my point is Texas has the. I think the lesson that I get from that question is that Texas has to be more disruptive at D tackle, and if it takes, throwing Justice Terry in the mix earlier, because I just gave you the pressure rate, 18% is pretty damn high for D lineman, period. And obviously you can extrapolate that over obviously more games. You might have to infuse him early and just put him in situations where, hey, I just need you to go wreak havoc. I'm not asking you to have too much responsibility. I'm not asking you to gap thing. I'm just asking you to go out there and and wreak havoc pretty much as a D tackle. So maybe that's pass rushing downs. Maybe that's a pass rushing package, whatever it is. So
got to have the big boys. And we've talked about it, Rod. We've done the position breakdowns. Defensive tackle's in a good, healthy spot right now.
It is.
And so, again, how can you then get more out of the group if you don't necessarily have a Byron Murphy or a guy who is a pass-first guy? I know those are rare from the interior, but if you can weaponize somebody like a Justice Terry in those obvious passing situations, or even not, right? If you can get them up to 290, that would be fantastic. So that's something I'm going to check in on this week, and hopefully have an update by the end of the week because, again, what we saw towards the back end, the havoc, the disruption, if you add more armor to him and allow him to play more spots on that interior, that's fantastic for Texas.
Yeah. So I expect to see Justice Terry early and often. I think Hero Kanu is also going to take a step next season. I believe that. I think he's going to take a step too to be more. He was, I guess, your most disruptive D tackle this year. Ended up with 20 pressures. So but he actually ended up with close to 20 stops too, which I think Pro Football Focus categorizes that just a win for the defense. So between those two guys and bringing in Ian Gerfraud, hopefully Texas will be more disruptive at that D tackle position. All right, thank you for that question. Rocky's up next. Thank you, Rocky. Says CJ. He says that when you find that one girl, be as committed to her as Sark is to Flood. There you go. Well said there, Rocky.
Well, Rocky, I'll tell you what. I hope I'm wearing the hat that you sent over whenever I did. I do.
I did.
That would be great.
Oh man! Now we got people. Now you got the chat keeping up with CJ's dating history and stuff like that. CJ's got plenty of time. All right, CJ's got plenty. He's got. Don't be rushing CJ into it. Trust CJ. As a man who got married at 40, you got plenty of time. You good?
Yeah, them boys still swimming. Lots of life left.
Oh, I can assure you they are. Yeah. All right, let's. I want to get to the Super Bowl champions really quickly here. We'll get to some more questions, so keep the questions coming, guys. But I want to talk about the stories that we're just talking about, Byron Murphy and those guys. Can we talk about Long Ball Dixon real quick in the Super Bowl? By the way, he's the highest average paid punter in the NFL. Just throwing it out there.
Like it.
And he averaged 47.3 net yards per punt. He had 3 punts inside the New England 6-yard line, only 4 return yards allowed. And the Seattle offense, think about it, guys, they stalled a couple of times, like inside their own 30, right? And inside your own 30, if you stall, I think 4 out of their first 9 drives, they stalled inside their 30 and still were able to flip the field. Coffin corner, Dixie. Yeah, they still able to flip the field with that dude. So he earned his money, and that's why he's the highest paid punter in the league. That was fun. By the way, the lesson for Texas is, and I think I sent this to you guys too. Seattle is amazing in special teams, top 3 in special teams in the NFL. Indiana was considered a top 5 special teams unit in college football. Seattle is the highest spender of in the NFL on special teams. Well, obviously, they're paying their punter. But yeah, so you get what you emphasize.
How many other punters have been bowl MVPs in their college days?
I don't think that's a long list at all, Coach.
I don't either. What was it? Was it the Sugar Bowl?
No, it was against Missouri.
Yeah, yep.
Right?
Yep. Is it Texas Bowl or the Alamo Bowl? Man, we went to so many of them.
God, I know it.
It's one of the bowls in Texas. It was. No, now I can't remember.
But you put
Alamo, Texas.
I don't know what that says about your offense and defense, but it says a lot about your punter.
That's why I call him Long Ball Dixon. So shout out to he deserves the ring, and he is the only. I mean, Texas only has 2 kickers, right? Cameron Dicker and Long Ball Dixon are the only kicker and punter they have in the league, and they are 2 of the best, by the way. So shout out to Long Ball Dixon.
To your point, though, going back about special teams, obviously this year special teams helped win you some games. It also put you in some pretty tough spots at times. So consistency, I guess, is where I'm looking for special teams to improve in 2026. But you go back, you mentioned, obviously, Indiana, fantastic in the special teams department. The Rams, I think, were the number 1 team in EPA, expected points added in special teams alone. The Patriots right there, number 2, Brendan Schooler, who's stuck around in the league for, 5 years now as a special team ace. He's been fantastic, carved out a role. We'll have probably another 6 or 7 years in the league alone, just playing kind of that specialist role. But if you go back to that NFC Championship game, what cost the Rams 7 points? They finally get a stop after halftime. Seattle punts the ball. They muff a punt. 2 plays later, Seattle's a touchdown. They score a touchdown. They're up by 10 again. And now Seattle or LA, who hadn't been able to stop them the entire day, is again having to fight back from 2 possessions, right? So that's something that you kind of emphasize in spring football. It gets lost probably a little bit in the summer. Kids, you go home a little bit, you relax. Then fall camp comes back around and you get hit with special teams once again. That's where it really needs to be, ironed in is, hey, this is where you win or lose football games. And last year, obviously, thanks to Ryan Niblett, you won a lot of football games because of it. But you also probably weren't as clean as Texas probably would have liked. And Georgia being another example again this year. So, hey, another prime example, Rob, when it comes to taking away, big takeaways from the Super Bowl. It's all about special teams as well.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. And yeah, you're right. Texas had kind of a feast or famine special teams performance in 2024, but like I said, it won you straight up games. I mean, Ryan Niblett was amazing. I mean, really was. And Mason Shipley, I thought was really good for him, especially. So Texas definitely is investing in special teams. I'll give them that. And to your point, doing it again, going to get the special. I think they started out right. Their first acquisitions in the transfer portal was specialists this year, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's get to. I got a question here I want to get to, and then we'll get back to it, or at least a conversation. Eric says only 208 more days to discuss this until the season starts. Well, I will say that you do have spring football, and spring football. You get a game actually, a spring game this year too, which should be good. So the lead up to spring football, when they start practicing, which is March. When they start, CJ? March
16th, maybe
somewhere around there. Yeah, around there. So that actually, to me, it's at least you get. That's what I look forward to. I don't look all the way. I can't look through that desert that is the rest of the off season all the way to the start of the next season. I got to look at it in like increments. So the next one is spring football. Let's look ahead to that. That's going to be great.
Coach, can I ask you around this time of the year, right? Coaches, obviously it's a dead period recruiting wise. You're not involved with getting kids on campus right now. Obviously the team is going through off-season conditioning. What are the coaches doing right now? Are they just hunkered around the facility for most of the days?
Yeah. They're getting things ready for spring ball. They'll have all the spring practices probably planned out. Okay. Now those will be adjusted as they go along, depending on injuries and weather and things like that. But they're going through and they're making their schedule for spring ball, and they're starting to get their depth chart together and looking to see, where they're going to start and, have a good idea what they're going to do the first half of spring ball. Then the second half will depend on, like I said, how the first half went, how injuries are going, weather and, different things like that. And then you work in recruiting to it as well, because when you're going to have guys in town for official or unofficial visits during spring ball, you want to show them some things that, that they want to see, some ways they can be used and so forth. So there's a little strategy involved in that. But I think they're probably hunkered down and getting their spring schedule ironed out.
Yeah, I always thought that was fascinating. So thanks for the peel behind the curtain because, what do these guys do when you don't see them out on the field? I guess that planning and preparation, obviously, going back, and I'm sure they'll rewatch every game once again. That's a big part of what they're doing at the time as well.
All right. Ben here with the super chat. Ben South, thank you for the super chat. Says, go back in time and offer Jackson Smith and Jigba. Thanks, Tom Herman. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, CJ, would Texas, I know Texas would have been in it, but would Texas have been able to close that deal if they at least offered the guy?
Apparently, in the word in Rockwall and DFW is he always was a fan of Texas.
Damn.
What that means, does that mean they would have landed him again? Who knows, right? You got to be in the hunt. Relationships at the time mattered significantly more than they do now, but he had a soft spot for Texas. I'm sure, that's one that they would have liked to have back probably.
Oh man, that hurt right there. I didn't realize. I know people I've seen that online a little bit, but I didn't realize that Texas would have had a realistic shot at him. Texas right now doing pretty good with wide receivers. I count Texas with 7 wide receivers in the league in 2025. That's pretty damn good.
And I believe at the time too, Texas was doing well with wide receivers, right? At least in the recruiting rankings, right? Yeah. You end up with Jake Smith was a Gatorade National Player of the Year. Brew McCoy was someone that you liked. That's on the heels of Avante Woodard and Brennan Eagles. And, obviously at the time you were looking at some really fine prospects. But JSN's certainly withstood the test of time and had himself a heck of a career so far.
He's the only receiver, I believe, in NFL history that's led the NFL in slot receiving yards one year and then receiving yards from the outside the next year.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that dude's he's a freak. He is. They keep him talking about dark times. That just kind of bummed me out a little bit. I shouldn't have. I mean, it's like years ago. Like, why would I get bummed out about something that long ago? All right, let's get to. Matter of fact, before we get back to it, I gotta get to this quote about Byron Murphy because I found it. This was from Julian Love, the safety, talking about Byron Murphy and who he is and how he impacts that defense. He said, quote, to be able to run the scheme that we do and have success that we have, it just takes talent. It starts up front. Byron Murphy, honestly, he's kind of the heartbeat of our defense. He's just an unsung hero. I think his name needs to be mentioned more. Well, after that kind of Super Bowl performance, 2 sacks and a fumble recovery, I think it will be mentioned a lot more. So as one of the leaders on the team saying he's the heartbeat of that really good defense. It's legit. So
I like it. We'll certainly mention his name.
Yeah, I know it's like I said, good for him because he was just as dominant here at Texas, and it's translated really quickly for him to the league. And he was the first draft pick from Mike Macdonald, was he not?
He was.
I believe he was Mike Macdonald's first draft pick.
16th overall, first pick of Mike Macdonald. Yep.
It says a lot. It says a lot.
And you know what Byron Murphy also kind of encapsulates? Just as a little side story. He wasn't even the most heralded defensive line recruit on his own team in high school. That was Shamar Turner, who ended up at Texas A&M. He was the 5-star kid that was 6'3.5", signed off on every measurable. And then Byron Murphy was just kind of the next guy. And at the time when Turner committed to A&M and Byron Murphy committed to Texas, a lot of folks in the area, and maybe more so from College Station, sat there and said, oh, you get the consolation prize. Right, you didn't get the higher ranked of the two, and it makes me wonder: would Texas today offer Byron Murphy? Because again, he's 6'1", maybe right? Lighter side.
Yeah.
And when it comes to evaluations versus measurables, I think he's a fantastic testament to trusting your eyes, trusting the evals, and making sure that this is a guy that's toolsy enough that can overcome maybe an inch or two when it comes to the height and length.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree. He almost learned to work with there's a great book called The Obstacle is the Way. And essentially whatever your shortcomings are, you evolve, your skill set evolves to almost turn some of those shortcomings into strengths. of your game and your skill set. And he's done that. Like, to be kind of an undersized D tackle, he wins pad level, great leverage, and he's powerful. And the way that he's kind of built is in a compact manner, but he's powerful. And he's, like I said, he's got a signature move already where he drops down to one knee whenever they try to double team him. And I remember I think we showed the tweet that somebody put out there from when Byron Murphy was being drafted by Seattle. And Sean McVay was basically saying, I think we got to have this guy. I think he's better than everybody else.
Yeah.
They see what Sean McVay was saying. Say, I want him. He's better than everybody else. He didn't get him, and yeah, see how that went. Somebody here mentioned Poona Ford. Cisco says Poona Ford. Yeah, I mean Poona Ford's with the Rams now. You know, he's right.
Another top 4 team in the NFL.
Yeah, he started. I want to say he started a few games for the Rams. Yeah. I want to say he started maybe 6-7 games for the Rams this year. So Poona Ford's doing well too. And Poona's kind of a freak. Like, he's just physically the way he's kind of built. He's a freak, but he's got these really long arms. And I remember, I believe it was Jason Kelsey that gave him a lot of credit. I want to say
the toughest guy to defend.
Right, he said one of the toughest guys he had to defend, actually had to block, was Poona Ford. Like, he was his hell to block that dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. So some love to and shout out to Quandre Diggs, who's also getting him a ring back with the Seattle Seahawks. All right. Matter of fact, we have to discuss something really quickly. At least we have to mention something. I'd feel remiss if we did not. Chris Gilbert, legendary lifetime Longhorn, passed away this past weekend. Chris Gilbert was an All-American. I mean, he was an All-American, consensus All-American, actually, in 1968, Southwest Conference Player of the Year. I actually left Texas as the all-time leading rusher when his career was over at Texas, with over 3,231 rushing yards, 28 touchdowns. I mean, he was at the start of that wishbone revolution for Texas. Didn't win the national title. I think he left right before that, but he was a big part of why they made the run. I mean, they won like 9 straight in 1968, like the end of the season, and all because they discovered the wishbone, win the national title the next year. He was gone by then. He had gotten drafted in the 5th round, I believe, by the Jets at the time. And so, I mean, and then I believe went on to have a little bit of an NFL career, but got into business and has always been a fixture in the Longhorn community. College football Hall of Famer, Texas high school football Hall of Famer, Hall of Honor. I mean, obviously all of the accolades and achievements. I can't even list them all because there are a ton of them, but he's one of the greatest Longhorns in the history of the Texas football program. Actually from Houston, Spring Branch, I believe is where he went to high school. So I just want to mention him and say our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. RIP to a legend, and always will be loved and remembered in the Longhorn community. No doubt about that. So yeah, throwing it out there. Okay. Before we get back to, I want to get to this draft, because there is a 3-round mock draft we want to get to, and we will in just a second. But I want to ask Coach about this a little bit too. Okay, so the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and they were, I believe, 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Which, and here's the tweet this is from ESPN Research. The Seahawks' biggest preseason long shot to win the Super Bowl since the Patriots in 2001. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl would. And tied for the second biggest preseason long shot odds in the last 50 seasons. College football, we just saw this. Indiana won the national title with the longest preseason odds in the history of college football. They were 100-1. They were 100-1. But some of these are good. I mean, if you want to go through like the recent, I guess the greatest long shot odds in the history, champions in the history of sports, I want to say Indiana is like right up there at the top of the list. I mean, they are that 100-1 odds. You don't really get that. There was like I said, the Patriots were 60-1. The 2001 the Patriots, the Rams, I believe, are 150-1 when they won their Greatest Show 2000 when they won their Greatest Show on Turf one.
Yeah,
they were 150. CJ may know more about this than me because I know CJ likes to watch a little bit. But they were 150 to 1 odds, and that, St. Louis Rams in 99. And then I think you're throwing some baseball teams. We're just talking about football here, so I want to keep it to football. But so we've recently got the longest, at least you look at it, the greatest long shot odds champion in college football history, 100 to 1 preseason odds to win the national title for Indiana. And then in the NFL, we just saw the second longest preseason odds win the championship, 60 to 1. Is this an aberration? Or are we going to start seeing more of these kind of Cinderella stories in football where we didn't expect to see some of these teams come out of nowhere and end up winning a championship? Coach, you've seen more football than any of us. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, first of all, player evaluation is number one at both levels, at Indiana and with Seattle. Player evaluation, seeing things in players that other people don't see. Okay? And then the second thing is coaching and development, putting those players in schemes that will help them be at their best, and matching scheme with the way the players develop is huge. And then thirdly, obviously special teams. An incredible emphasis on special teams. And then fourthly, and certainly not last, but great defense. All those two teams have that in common. They did a great job of evaluating talent that other people didn't see. They put those players in schemes to help them be successful. And they developed them, and they played great special teams. All four of those, I think, you see in common with the Seahawks and with the Hoosiers.
I totally agree, Coach. And we talked about special teams, but I'll talk about just making sure that your guys are in the right position and utilizing them correctly. How important was Charlie Becker this year for Indiana?
Yeah.
Just back shoulder fade after back shoulder fade. We saw them twice against Miami in the national championship, one on a critical fourth down, one on another third down late in the second half to move the chains. And then for Seattle, Rashid Shaheed, a guy that was more of a return specialist, but anytime they got the ball in his hands, more times than not in space, it was coming around the edge or a reverse or something. And we saw multiple fake reverse attempts again last night in this game. But it's all about utilizing their strengths and finding ways to create advantages for your team, knowing the strengths that your team possesses. It's why Sark tried to get Ryan Niblett so involved in the screen game. Try to set it up the same way a punt return would look against the sideline with your blockers in front of you. Read the blocks, reacts, and use your speed. That's what I'm excited to see Sark do with, Cam Coleman and Emmett Mosley, right? You go out there and you continue to add more to this wide receiver room. Well, how do you utilize those top-end guys more and more? That's the evolution of the game right now, and I think we're going to see more of it with Sark this year.
I like that. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I was just curious you guys' thoughts about it, because to have this happen in the college level and the NFL level in the same season of football, I should say, definitely something to pay attention to. All right, can we get to this mock draft? There's a 3-round mock draft. Shout out to NFL. And you guys know I'm unfortunately kind of a mock slut. I'll look at anybody's mock draft. But this one I'll only bring the credible mock drafts up with you guys. So this is actually from NFL.com. So it's a credible mock draft. I think Chad Reuter is one of their draft analysts. And the Longhorns, who are mentioned in this draft, Anthony Hill, which is he's always been the first Longhorn on any mock. I would say 100% of the mock drafts I've looked at. Actually, no, there was one 7-round mock draft that had Malik Muhammad over him, but it didn't have any credibility, so I just threw it out. But this one actually has Anthony Hill at number 49, going to the Minnesota Vikings. So he is the second round seems to be where a lot of teams have Anthony Hill right now in the second round. Kind of firmly, most of those mock drafts have him in the second round. And they have Malik Muhammad. This is a 3-round mock draft. So they have Malik Muhammad in the third round going to Carolina at number 83. And there are a lot of mock drafts that is the order. That is Anthony Hill first, then Malik Muhammad. But I saw 99% of the drafts I've seen, mock drafts, Anthony Hill is the first Longhorn drafted, and it's usually in the second round. I've seen like maybe one or like a few, maybe one or two that have him kind of sneaking in the back end. But I think he'll be right now looks like a second round pick. But the process, guys, just started. Like literally, the NFL, like this, the last game was last night, and now the process for all these teams starts and all these players too. So he can easily increase his draft stock. I don't see him hurting his draft stock. So if anything, I think he can still push his way up into maybe late in the first round. But hey, guys, Seattle Seahawks, a lot of really good players, second round picks. A lot of good players, second round. I mean, you can find a lot of good talent in the second round. But Malik Muhammad in the third round. What are your thoughts about it, CJ? You think how many Longhorns do you think might end up getting drafted this year overall?
I think 7 is probably safe, and I've not yet looked at it, Rod, in the sense of who's fringe, who's rising, who's fallen. I didn't make the trip out to Mobile this year, which that's all right. Not much to do in Mobile, anyways. But when it comes to the conversations had about draftable Longhorns, I don't think they're going to be in the double digits this year, right? Back-to-back years of 23 total, 25 total. That probably not going to happen. Now, 2027 draft, that's where you look at, say, maybe 15, right? They're going to have plenty of talent that's all draftable. But this year, I think 7, maybe 8, if they get lucky there. But altogether, Anthony Hill, Malik Muhammad, I think are going to be year 1, 2. And then who falls after that, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, someone here saying, Jason saying, did PK hurt Anthony Hill's draft stock by using him improperly? In my opinion, he did by 15 or more spots. I don't know if it's that much, but I do think you definitely could have improved his draft stock. I mean, look at what everybody's talking about with Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. I mean, really the talk is about how malleable, right? They make your game plan and they make your defense, right? You can scheme these guys open, move them to different spots. I do think if you'd have moved Anthony Hill around a little bit more, shown that he can wreak havoc on the edge and being more of an edge rusher, they know that they got the film, but showcase it even more. Yeah, I think, they're talking about him being, maybe the third linebacker in his class instead of right now, I don't know, maybe the 5th linebacker in the class or 4th linebacker in the class.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys that whoever drafts him, if he does fall that low, second round, is going to get great value in that draft pick because we've seen him because we've watched every play of every game, and we've seen his versatility and the way that he can come off the edge and the way that he can, get back in pass drops and stuff. We've seen what he can do, and when you start looking at every eligible guy in his position, they all kind of get blurred a little bit for NFL scouts, in my opinion. I think whoever gets him, if he does drop in the second round, is going to get a great value for their pick because he is more of a versatile player than PK showed. He showed at times, and we thought that he was going to show it more. I would have loved to have him be under the current defensive coordinator for a season.
Yeah.
See what he could do. I think that would raise his draft stock 15, 16 places. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have that luxury. But I think if people really go back and study the tape, they'll see how versatile he really is. And if it does fall to the second round, which I'm not sure that he's going to, but if he does, somebody's going to get a great bang for the buck out of that pick.
To Coach's point, you go look at the top vote getters for the defensive rookie of the year. Schlesinger was picked 33. Eman Worry, the Seattle Seahawks freak nickel, he was at pick 35. Xavier Watts, the safety, was picked 96. Found some really good defensive players. James Pierce, did y'all see the James Pierce story?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. But he was picked 26. He was the only one that was in the first round. The rest of those guys end up being second round, even third round picks. So you can find really good talent there. So I'm with Coach. Even if Anthony Hill falls, he'll fall to potentially to a really good team. End up being an early contributor for someone. All right, let's thank our lead sponsor one more time before we end tonight's program, our friends over at Von Lane. We appreciate Von Lane, and you will as well. Our friends at Von Lane do a great job of offering you a first-class travel experience. That's what I love about Von Lane. No matter where you're traveling for business or you're traveling for personal reasons, go visit family, you can count on our friends over at Von Lane to get you there safe and sound in a timely fashion, but also get you there relaxed and get you there whether you want to work, get some work done, or whether actually you want to relax and enjoy the ride. Our friends at Von Lane, they specialize in making sure that you have a first-class travel experience. You board in minutes at a private hotel terminal, settling to just 22 oversized leather seats. You enjoy complimentary snacks, beverages, and hot towel service. Also on select departures, they have full meals, complimentary meals. And right now, they've recently upgraded their Wi-Fi with Starlink internet across the entire fleet, making it even more reliable and even faster. They serve Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, Knoxville. And if you're traveling with a team, you can charter your own Von Lane coach and design the trip from pickup to drop off. Visit vonlane.com. That's VONLANE.com. And if it's your first time riding, you can enter the code OTF26 at checkout to receive $20 off your first trip. That's Von Lane, your private jet on wheels. Thank you very much to our friends over at Von Lane. And thank you to each and every one of you out there for watching and for listening. Thank you to Stevie Lee. We appreciate Stevie Lee taking the time to hang out with us each and every Monday. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes. He's the real MVP. Coach, appreciate all of the wisdom and the dating knowledge. Appreciate you dropping the game on the show today. CJ, great stuff as always. Appreciate all of your hard work. So thank you guys out there. Tomorrow, if you missed any of your questions, tomorrow you do have Coffee and Football starting bright and early tomorrow morning, 8:15 with Bobby Burton and Jerry Hamilton. And then, of course, you'll have the Tuesday night live stream. That'll be at 7:15 p.m. with CJ Vogel and my man Jeff Howe jumping in on that. For CJ and for Coach, I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Also for Matthew. Until next time, hook 'em horns.